poster.
Oh, nowhere to go here. All right, guys, so welcome to the Girls After Show on thestream.tv. And I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and I'm here with my girls, Allie, Jessica, and back from New York, Christina. So be sure to join our conversation over at YouTube and Twitter at thestream.tv. Like us, subscribe, follow, and use that hashtag GirlsAS to ask us questions and comments. So let's dive in tonight, ladies. Yeah. So I guess what's on my mind is what's the deal with Hannah and Adam? Like, I was kind of confused. Are they together? Are they not together? He was nowhere to be seen in the show. What do you think's going on?
Where was he?
And we talked about how like there are breaks sometimes, so you don't. Sometimes she doesn't piece it together right away. I think you were talking about that. And so I think it'll be interesting to see maybe like next week we'll get caught up on like what the real deal is.
Yeah.
There's definitely something going on.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they were broken up. Like that's what it seemed to me. I don't know. I mean, also they have a very odd relationship. They're different than, the usual boyfriend and girlfriend, where I could see them, having this don't ask, don't tell sort of situation. That might be.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly what they have, don't ask, don't tell. But I don't think that they're broken up. I think that they're still together. It's just odd and weird, and he's kind of doing his own thing. But I think they're still together.
If they have a don't ask, don't tell, she's for sure better about it. Which is like the bathroom scene. She is not a happy girl.
No, she's not.
No, of course. I mean, yeah, right. The bathroom scene, giving that whole speech. Like, I feel like the way that human nature works is like when you're ranting about that topic, like maybe you know a little too much about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're doing a little.
100%.
Yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
Totally. But do you guys think this is the beginning of Hannah's demise? Like, she got to Iowa, she's talking about, like, it's so great to be a graduate student now, like, my parents don't pay for me anymore, but then she kind of got really crazy at the end and started doing Jell-O shots and wrestling with people in the tank. Do you think it's back to old Hannah's destructive ways?
It'll be so interesting to see, like, when Elijah first came on the scene, I was kind of relieved. I was like, oh, he's back. It's so good to see him. But then it was like, oh, they're going to go right back into the downfall together.
Exactly.
They're such bad influences on each other. But like they're such a great duo. You just you love seeing them together because their chemistry as friends and past lovers is so fabulous. And we like to see them partying because it's fun, and she's crazy and she has no shame whatsoever. But I mean, I think I don't necessarily know that she's going to go down a downward spiral, but I think that she will. She's just trying to feel like she's an undergrad again. You know what I mean?
And what about sort of second chances? Like, now that she's doing it again as a grad student, aren't you a little savvier about how to handle yourself at these parties?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so now it's like, okay, you're gonna rage and do the wrestling party, but like the rigmarole. Not rigmarole.
Rigmarole.
Yeah, like, you know what's going on, and you're not. You're not the fool this time.
Yeah.
I love seeing her. She's so funny, and has such an ego, and I love that about her in a funny way. But she, telling that girl, giving her advice, she loved that. She loved the older
Stroking her
girl.
face.
Yeah, she's 25 years old. She knows what's up, and it's so funny because 25 is still pretty young, but she loves being that girl.
Who wants to do her dance move, like the leg lift, lift move?
They were pretty good. I wonder if they were really drunk when they shot that.
Oh, they had to be on something.
That was pretty good.
I mean,
why not have a few shots?
Why not?
And get to grooving.
My favorite moment from the party was when Elijah was totally jerking off the guy in the bathroom. I kind of thought
you would
that
like
was amazing. I mean, I always love a good gay BFF. Everyone
he was
needs
cute.
them.
That guy.
He was super cute.
He was adorable.
But you know what? I actually thought the girl who was crying by the bathroom and she's like, my boyfriend's cheating on me. I was like, oh my God,
Me too.
he's upstairs with Elijah getting jerked off right now.
I was a little missed a magical opportunity. Wouldn't that have been amazing?
That would have been
exactly what I thought
because when she said, "Where is he?" I'm gonna go beat him up. Basically, you in your head you were like,
he's
okay,
upstairs.
We're gonna go upstairs.
Upstairs.
Elijah's gonna be there, and it's gonna be this hilarious moment. That didn't happen. That's
especially because he was like, I'm not gay. As he's in the bathroom.
Yeah, sure you're not.
I feel like the show maybe gets criticism for this, but maybe that's part of the brilliance is that they refuse to follow what we think will happen. It's like, no, it's not about kind of this hard plot-driven thing. It's more just observations of real life, which is like this guy being like, I'm not gay, like when he's,
I also
19, but when you're in grad school, you're like, I'm fucking gay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that they
Very
slipped
true.
it in though as like good foreshadowing because it's not what you expected, and instead of it being like, oh, he's upstairs, it was like, no, it's long distance, and then you kind of, it brings it back to Hannah and Adam, I think.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of not what you expected in Hannah and Adam, what do you think Marnie knows about Adam that she wouldn't tell Hannah when they were doing their whole, face-to-face time? And did Marnie seem a bit off to you guys? Like knitting a
I
scarf.
don't think she seemed off.
Oh my God, she seems like she's
I don't
on
know.
painkillers or something. She's so
Yeah.
weird. Like her energy was really like subdued and strange, and I just felt something was very, very off with
You
Marnie.
guys said that. I didn't see that as much. I definitely saw it with Adam. Like she's not into talking about Adam, and something's going on there. But I don't know. I thought otherwise she was just being Marnie and
Maybe
being
she
like
was
the
just being
mistress.
Marnie's always weird. She always looks like she's on like Quaaludes and Xanax and just sort of like floating through the world. And I'm like, whatever you're taking, like, can I get some too? Like, let's just enter Martyville
You don't want to
and
be
hang
the
out.
mistress.
No, you
And we'll just hang out.
Well,
it's all
yeah,
good.
I just wondered if she's sort of misunderstanding the role of the mistress.
Yeah, no,
like you're not supposed to make them a scarf and like swaddle them in this.
Yeah.
Like that's the girlfriend's job.
Exactly.
Not that I
Know your
She
position, Marnie.
She doesn't want to be the
Know your
mistress,
position.
though.
Right? Yeah. She's trying to take over.
Yeah.
I think she's being Marnie is often very delusional. She's a very smart, book smart.
Totally.
Fair.
Book smart. I mean, she's a very smart girl, but she's just living on another planet.
She is. Well, speaking of living on another planet, what do we think of Hannah's transition from New York to Iowa? Do we think there's a difference? Do we like New York Hannah versus Iowa Hannah? What do we think?
I'm already tired of Iowa.
Yeah,
I just, that's not girls.
I know. I'm getting really bad vibes there too. Like I just feel like she's not fitting in, and this was my, I expected that this would happen, that she would not, they wouldn't be able to handle her or understand her, and she doesn't really understand them. I mean, you saw on the phone with her mom, she said, do you ever feel like when you're in a new place, you want to commit suicide? And you're like, okay, so she's really unhappy right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't think she's going to last very long.
Okay, but couldn't they just be growing pains? Yeah. Like
That's what she's trying to say.
well, I mean, like when you first get to college, when you first get anywhere, it definitely is different. I mean, obviously the show emphasized that like they hate her, or her like writers workshop, partners.
Yeah,
except for.
Oh,
this
that
one-
guy.
Yeah.
Did we
ever figure out his name? D.
We did D something.
name's D.
We're gonna go with D, but
Yeah.
the one that
So the guy in her
chatted with
group
her
after the writers group who was like talking to her and was like,
Invited
you have
to
to
the
go to the
party.
bar. You have to
Yeah.
go to
He
the
was the
bar.
only one that stuck up for her in class, and everyone else had like such an aversion to her. Like,
Yeah.
But and I was wondering with him, like, are they gonna hook up?
Right.
Right.
Are they gonna become, party buddies like Elijah? But yeah, they were all the rest of the cast, the rest of the students were so
Brutal.
rude to her. They were really brutal.
Brutal.
Do we think that storyline is in reaction to the backlash that she got in criticism from her own book that she just published?
Yeah, definitely.
Not
I
that
think
kind
the
of girl.
storyline. Well, she directed and wrote the first 2 episodes. We know that, and I think it was totally a comment on her "Not That Kind of Girl" book, where she got a lot of criticism. And I thought it was so funny how in the book group everybody gave her like a different diss, but it was like all their own.
Well, she's gotten so much criticism for this show.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, because nobody has done a show like this.
Right.
No woman has done a show like this.
Right.
And has shown women, I think, in such a realistic way, like in women in their 20s. And it's so funny because people think that it's exaggerated so much, and a lot of it is, but most of it isn't.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so spot on for me.
I actually have to disagree. I think that the majority of the criticism she got for the show is that it's actually not true to life. And a lot of people couldn't identify with it, and that it was just her talking about her life and her friends, which is kind of very privileged.
Yeah,
and I
these
think
sounds like
that
men
that
that
was
were-
a very. But what I love about the show is I think that was a very smart and funny way to be like, well, guess what? Like, this is my life. Who cares? Because even at the table read with the with her book and her story, she's just like, who cares? Like, this is my life. And like the D guy totally defended her. So I actually think that was a really cool and funny way just to be like, whatever, this is my life. I think that's the biggest takeaway of being a girl in your 20s. It's just like, whatever, these are my choices, take it or leave it. I'm gonna go have fun and dance with my BFS while he jerks off some guy in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, I think that's the power of an individual story. It's not
Right.
everybody's story, but it is her story.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So she's truthful
But
to that.
I agree with you, Allie. I relate to it so much.
I relate to every single episode. I mean, and so do all my girlfriends. So I've heard some criticism that people say, oh, it's LA and New York girls can really relate. And then sort of like the women
City
in
girls.
between can't really, but I don't know. I feel like
still,
it's,
that quote from like, I think it's like the first episode when she's talking with Adam and she's like, I don't need a boyfriend. I just want a guy who wants to spend all his time with me and not have sex with me. Like, I still go back to that. I'm like, yeah.
Totally.
I want that too.
And that just like continues throughout the whole series. I love that. It's so true.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, I think it's definitely her story, and you can definitely identify with it and take away fun things. But I do like that she addressed, like, yeah, it's my story. Who cares? Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good move.
Good move. And with that, we will be right back with some fan questions. So be sure to tweet us, #GirlsAS. Stay tuned.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
So this is dancing. So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot! I literally cannot! You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell them, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Hey guys, welcome back. And don't forget to join us using #GirlsAS at YouTube and on Twitter. So our first fan question, it comes from Impromptu Magazine. Dying to see the new #Girls HBO, but I'm not allowed to watch it without the BF yet. Who's your favorite character? So ladies, let's dive in. Who do you love and why?
Oh man, who? So hard. They're all so
Yeah,
good.
they're all so fun.
It's like Sex and the City for a new generation, as they say. So, I don't know.
Elijah really got me so excited.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
his timing, he's hilarious, he's so lovable, and I was like laughing out loud, and I love him. I think he's just a beautiful representation of like also a gay character on television, and he's so funny.
I loved his line about
yeah.
being Blake Lively's husband.
I know. I was like, Ryan
And I
Reynolds
saw it,
is
and
so
I was like,
yummy.
totally.
Yeah, I kind of get it. Yeah.
Oh man.
I love Marnie, even though she's a hot mess and I couldn't be friends with her. Like, I still love her. She's crazy.
I'm so shocked that you said that because
last week I was just like,
fighting
no,
about it.
Marnie, I don't want her. Like, she's like not like. I don't
I love
know.
her.
I love Marnie.
her.
I love Marnie because she makes so many mistakes and somehow manages to make it work at the end of the day.
Yeah. Exactly,
Well, and
yeah.
don't we all? Like, isn't that life?
Like, I want to do really fun karaoke to really bad songs and put it on YouTube and have people like it and share it and like tweet it out and like not care.
And you can, Candy.
I
You
can.
can.
And I want to. You know what?
I'm gonna do it next week.
I want to play Peter Pan on NBC, which she did. Like, and I want to be Peter Pan.
Oh gosh, don't even bring up that show. That was
No, it didn't do it for you.
Oh God,
or
I
did?
watched it. It was the cheesiest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it's Peter Pan, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
Live.
I think Marnie is amazing to watch because she just is always getting into trouble. Like, she's maybe the most mischievous character, so it's like super fun to see what disaster she's now cooked up. Like, how is she gonna like address the next person's girlfriend that she slept with? I mean, boyfriend, you know what I mean? The boyfriend's girlfriend.
Maybe
that
there'll be a
slept with.
girlfriend next time.
Yeah, someone
Definitely.
needs to be in a lesbian relationship this season.
Oh my
I'm
God.
calling it now.
Oh,
I think Hannah will be. I called
do
that
too.
last show, and I stick to it. Maybe the
think that
goth girl.
the goth
girl.
girl.
I can see that happening. Maybe a three-way with that guy D.
Ooh, that's hot. Yeah.
Bring it on.
I mean, what else
Bring
do you
it
do in
on.
Iowa?
Yeah, seriously.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Are
you're
there
right.
cows?
She is next up because, yeah, like it's got to happen in Iowa.
Someone's due for a good lesbian relationship.
I know. And why not?
And we all know it's
Why
not
not?
going to be Shoshana, so. It's definitely.
It could
although that would be great.
Maybe it could be Soshana.
I mean, she just
Why
seems
not?
like
Why
she's
not?
so vanilla in the bedroom. So I feel like she wouldn't really. she's not ready for it yet.
maybe
That's why, like, she's the secret freak.
Yeah, the not graduating might have been the, the final break.
Yeah.
Like crack her and send her in a new direction.
All right, so for our next fan question, it comes from Hannah Rogers, and she says, I wonder why @Lena Dunham picked Hannah as the name of her lead character in #GirlsHBO. Like, what does that say about Hannah's? So, ladies, what's in a name? I think it just says Hannahs are super neurotic, but they know how to write a good story about themselves, and
They're fun.
I know a Hannah like that. I had a Hannah that I went to college with in New York. Do
you think she's watching right
she's
now?
now a writer. I swear, she's like a carbon copy.
Lena, are
you
you
go.
stealing people's ideas with Hannah? We're on to you.
No, but I mean, also regional. Like, our family's like Midwestern, right?
Yeah.
But all the other
Isn't that
names
where Hannah comes from?
are so unique,
Yeah.
like Marnie and
Jessa. I've never
Jess is great.
Jessa's
Jess is great.
awesome.
Jess is great. Shoshana.
Okay, just back to like favorite characters. I think Jessa's my favorite. I mean, she didn't really appear in this episode, but I love Jessa and
can
her
see you liking
eccentricity.
Jessa.
Yeah, me too.
Like, yeah, I like to have friends that are bad influences. No, but she's also like a rich character that I feel like gives perspective on
agree.
like
I
the
agree.
world at large.
I know,
Yeah.
I really like her too. I think she's such a free spirit, and I just love that about her. And she's got this, you just know that she's been through a lot, and she has this sort of wise quality about her because of that.
And yet she makes as many mistakes as Marnie.
Totally.
All right, well, speaking of that, our third fan question comes from @Alice. Did @Lena Dunham intentionally make Adam's character so awkward? You feel weird finding him seriously attractive.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, we actually were talking about this. Like, I actually think Adam's super hot and like really attractive.
So hot.
Even though he's like weird. He's like ugly sexy, like Benicio del Toro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not like repulsed by him. I just don't.
I
really do it for
love
me.
Adam so much. I think he's one of the most interesting characters that has ever graced television. Wow. And
Wow, that's a statement.
I feel so strongly about him, not only because he is so unique looking, such a fantastic actor. Their relationship together and their chemistry together is, you can't look away, you know, when they're together.
Yeah, I do love that. I love how their relationship has unfolded. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah,
And it's
he's
sexy.
complex.
Yeah, he's
very
He
complex.
has a lot of complexity that unfolds over time, and all of I really love the reveals that happen when Hannah pushes him, when she's frustrated, and I feel like the things that he says about the relationship, like again season 3, but like when she was sexually frustrated and trying to role play with him, and he's like, no, I'm actually having internal emotion, like deep feelings. And I don't know if you guys do, but like as a woman when I'm dating, I have found that I'll almost like assume the guy has less depth, and the more I talk with him, I'm like, oh, you're really smart. Like, so more interesting than I thought. Like,
brace yourself for like nothing.
Yeah, so I feel like with Hannah, you're constantly like, oh, he's so much more interesting. Like we were gonna write him off because he was a jerk in that past episode, but then you find out like there's a real motivation for his reaction.
However, I will not let him punch me in the chest during sex. Sorry, not gonna happen.
Okay, but question, did she want to be punched in the chest?
Yes,
Because she actually said that she asked for it.
Exactly. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hi, Adam, punch me in the chest.
Hannah.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
But yeah, we love him.
All right, guys. So just to wrap up, we wanted to show you guys some love. So our Twitter fans, some quick shout outs to Tina and Kara at TV Goodness, and to @Diane_X, and to @GirlsOnGirls Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we love your recaps and previews, so keep them coming. So we'll see you back here at the same time next week. Be sure to keep the conversation going using #GirlsAS, and find us on YouTube and Twitter at @TheStreamTV. All right, girls.
Girls pose.